a Raglan-based organisation is revitalising the practice of rites of passage in their community. It's been a 7-year journey for the team at Poutama Rites of Passage, and they've just returned from a 5-day rite or rite over the weekend with 14 and 15-year-old young men. Michael Moore of Ngāti Maniapoto and Te Aki Coates of Ngaitahu are with us now. Tēnā kōrua, thank you both for joining us today.
Hey, tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe.
Michael, where did you come up with this initiative and why is it so important to you?
Well, I feel like probably that rākau belongs in the hands of the man above me on my screen, which is Te Aki Coates. So I'm going to hoatu te rākau ki a koe, i Te Aki.
Hey, tēnā koe. Michael, he tāuka tuku iho, tēnei te mi kia koe e Neil, he tāuka tuku iho tēnei, e hara nāku tēnei kaupapa. This is an ancient kaupapa that we haven't seen in our communities for generations. And in 2015, a group of youth workers, we got together and we were asking the question, how do we make the biggest difference in this small time that we have in our mahi? And we were led to rites of passage. And that's the kaupapa that we've been following over the last 7 years.
And because that's incredibly important, especially now with all the interference and all sorts of things going on, particularly with our young men, and teaching them the right ways to behave and so forth. So what's this kaupapa about, and what are the benefits to rangatahi and whānau in revitalising this practice?
Kia ora. Like I said, this is an ancient kaupapa, and Indigenous cultures all around the world have practiced rites of passage for millennia for their communities. And ultimately, the question lies with us as a society. If we don't initiate our young people, we'll leave them to initiate each other. And that's what we're seeing in our world at the moment. And peers are initiating peers in the most dangerous and unhealthy ways at times, involving drugs, alcohol, sex, violence, and just really unhealthy risk-taking. So ultimately, for us, we're reweaving a safety net of mentors in our community, healthy adults that our young people can go to when they need it.
Michael, how do you ensure that Matauranga Māori is implemented in these rites?
Yeah, so the rites are built on, the foundation of our kaupapa is built on Kaupapa Māori, Māori tikanga, and we strengthen this kaupapa, with our pou, that have been drawn from ideology and wisdom from our ancestors. And that, the kaupapa Māori really threads its way up from the ground up throughout this kaupapa. And it's an invitation for our young men to pick up that rākau and take up the opportunity. It's a reo rua space, and we really encourage, for our tama and for our mentors to dive into that reo space, to dive into pūrākau, to dive into the frameworks and the tikanga that we embrace and use.
So this has been going on happening for 7 years. How has the kaupapa evolved to what you're practicing today? And explain to us what's happening in the vision here we can see.
Here we have our tama. They are creating the ahi tapu. So like Michael was saying, this kaupapa is infused, or it's birthed out of te ao Māori. And like we see on the marae, it's that journey from a space of noa into a space of tapu. And in that space of tapu is that transmission of all of that knowledge. That's where our growth happens, and then we return back to a place of noa. So the boys and men, they go on a journey from the everyday, separating from that into that space of transformation. And in that space we have wānanga, and here we are in wānanga. Our kaupapa, such as relationships to father, to mother, tira wahine, tira tāne. How do we respond to challenge? We follow the journey of our pūrākau, of hāne, of the atua. And then we return back home and we reintegrate those learnings back in our community, supported by our mentors. And you asked how this has changed? We have realised the importance of mentorship. I think that has been the key to this kaupapa, is that we need to reweave that safety net in our community because a lot of our tama don't have fathers, a lot of our tama don't have any male role models. And now after this experience, that's just gone, these 10 boys now have 16 men in the community that they can look to when things get tough.
Michael, just quickly, how do we get involved? How do parents contact you, rangatahi young men? How are you contactable?
So we have our Facebook page up and running. Our website is building at the moment, building its way as its own Poutama, its own journey for our whānau to come through and gain membership into different aspects of what we have here at Poutama Rites of Passage. And then there's also through our email contacting Tiaki and myself directly and our leadership group. And then we also promote each of our rites and each of the different aspects of our kaupapa through our social media pages and through our local networks, through the local kura, and
beautiful,
and through our email.
Look, I appreciate what you're doing. It sounds amazing and good, and a very good thing to be doing. Michael Moore, Te Aki Coates from Rites of Passage, thank you so much for joining us today. Ngā mihi kia korua.
Tēnā koe.